I want to send a special shout out to Boogie Bentley, Dauber, and the Indie Kid over at the Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. I also want to ask y'all to go smash that like button and subscribe to their channel on YouTube. Go Big Orange.
This is the Indie Kid. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. And this is the day after Music City Bowl edition. Before I get into the train wreck known as the Music City Bowl, guys, you know the drill. Smash that like button. Subscribe. All the updates, any impromptu live shows, live weekly shows are, I guess you could say on sabbatical right now with football ending. But if there's any big news or anything, we will. Boogie will get the notifications sent out and we'll go live on that. But live shows going forward will be basketball. Wednesday night will be post game after the Tennessee Ole Miss game. And then we'll be post game after any games going forward as well. And then baseball's right around the corner as well. I know we'll have some previews for that. We'll preview the team. We'll have videos for the games, the series, and all that stuff. A lot around the corner. Even though football's ended, there's still a lot going on. Plenty of videos still coming. But the Music City Bowl, Tennessee drops this one 48-45 yesterday. And, of course, there's a lot of controversy surrounding this game and play at the end, and I'll discuss that in just a moment. But there was such a comedy of errors that led to this as well. And the officiating was awful, but let's make no bones about it. Tennessee missed so many opportunities. They shot themselves in the foot so many times yesterday as well. So the officials had some blame, but Tennessee had a share of blame as well. But the obvious elephant in the room is the Jalen Wright play in overtime. So from everything I've looked, for anybody to say that, oh, his progress was stopped, no doubt about it, that was the right call. You don't know what you're talking about if you're saying that, number one, because his feet are still going. He was never going backwards. And if it was a brief stall, or if there was a stall, it was very, very brief. If Jalen Wright's progress was stopped, who's to say that the Purdue tight end, when he broke loose, when 4 Tennessee guys quit on the play, wasn't forward progress? If Jalen Wright's was forward progress, Purdue's tight end was almost the same. And I don't think it was. So if Purdue's tight ends wasn't, Jalen Wright's wasn't as well. So that leads me to two things. That call either goes one of two ways. It's either a touchdown or, and I've seen people tweet this out, of people see, I've seen even some officials on Twitter say the rule is you can't pull a player forward. And Princeton Fant was clearly doing that, but the officials did not call that. So there's one of two things on this one. Either that's a Jalen Wright touchdown, or that's a penalty on Princeton Fant. Well, I think it's a 5-yard penalty from what I gather. That's a penalty on Princeton Fant. That backs up, and Tennessee's given the ability to kick a field goal there. But in no way is that stopped progress. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it was such contradicting statements saying, well, the whistle doesn't matter. Again, what's the point of the whistle then if it doesn't matter? But all in all, I hate that play is what everybody's looking back on, and we're rightfully looking back on that as a decider. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, I mean, I can go back to the end of the fourth quarter. Tennessee had chances. Here's another one, though. The pictures are out there clear as day. Tennessee got called for so many pass interferences. Purdue guy is clearly holding on to Cedric Tillman. Clear as day, no call. That's a holding. I'm thinking a hold is a 10-yard penalty. That's putting Tennessee about where they need to be, and they could have ran another play and maybe gained a few more yards on that play. That puts them where they need to be. That's unacceptable officiating. And again, these officials, there needs to be accountability with them. And I know my focus is on them. And I said they didn't cost Tennessee the game they didn't. Penalties, poor decisions. Josh Heupel deserves some criticism for some calls yesterday. And thinking serious about dropping a video, kind of praising him, but also holding him accountable as well for decisions, because we saw specifically Pitt and Purdue this year, same thing, same play, they get stopped on. You have got to get creative. And it was Jalen Wright. I don't know that I like Jalen Wright. I like what he brings. Jabari Small was hurt at the end, but you've got Lynette Whitehead and even D. Beckwith, for that matter. Big guys. What's their purpose? Short yardage guy. I don't want a scat back. I don't want a juker. I want somebody that's going to put their head down and go. And, some of that falls on this line as well. Purdue was the more physical team. It was said coming in that Purdue was a physical team. They were. I thought Tennessee's O-line did a decent job, but Purdue's O-line manhandled Tennessee's defensive line all day, and Tim Banks made no adjustments. Again, it was an off day for Tennessee. They didn't play well. They didn't coach well, frankly, and they still put up 45 points and went to overtime and very well could have won that football game. But, again, I go back to the decisions at the end of the fourth quarter. I thought they were kind of a little lethargic. Josh Heupel's got – this is a complaint of mine as well. He thinks these coaches – and we've seen it for years. I remember seeing it with Jeremy Pruitt as well. They think they're slick and that, nobody's going to be expecting a draw here. I can knock off a few quick yards with this unexpected draw. Everybody's expecting that draw. It's been ran time and time again from these slick coaches who are going to outcoach another guy, especially if you've seen a pattern on film. Get the yards and get down the field, man. You don't have time to kill. You don't have time to waste. Tennessee wasted time. Josh Heupel has done that numerous times this year, trying to get that slick play in, and all it does is cost him time, and it ends up with Chase McGrath having to kick a 56-yard field goal, which was short. You can't blame him on that. And you can't blame him for going that, but there was no excuse for them not to be closer. Yes, there was an officiating call that was missed, should have put them closer, but yes, that was totally mismanaged. The second quarter, totally mismanaged. No adjustments. Tennessee kept relying on the go route. I don't know if that's a quarterback choice. I don't know if that's a play call choice. But you had Cedric Tillman one-on-one most of the night, it seemed like. That slant was there. When Tennessee ran the slant, it was there. It was there for the taking. And we can count on one hand the number of times that slant was ran. Hard to criticize a lot, in terms of the production, but still yet. I just feel there were so many missed opportunities. And again, there were a lot of similarities to that Pitt game. So many missed opportunities. We chastised Joe Milton for overthrows in that game. Hooker missed a lot yesterday, too. Granted, Hooker he hit a lot, too. He did some good. I'm not throwing off on him, but he missed a lot of guys who were open yesterday. But at some point, a go is a low-risk play. It's a low-percentage play. The slants are there. People say this gimmicky. It's not a gimmicky offense. It's a type of offense. It's a fast-paced basically spread offense. There's nothing gimmicky about it. Gimmicky to me is when you're running reverses, you're running wildcats consistently. You're running something like going fast-paced is not gimmicky. Other teams do it as well. A traditional offense it's outdated at this point. It's 21st century. Fast-paced offenses, You don't necessarily have to go as fast as Tennessee does, but a lot of teams go fast. And hopefully in this offseason, hopefully the Tennessee rules, whatever they are, come into play. This fake injury stuff is killing Tennessee games. It's killing Tennessee momentum. It's not fair at all. The competitor in me has a problem with these guys. Their way to solve a fast pace is the flop or to fake an injury. That's gutless. That is gutless. Jeff Brom, Lane Kiffin, there's others as well. Gutless. No respect for these guys who specifically teach this to slow down an offense. Maybe they're good coaches, sure, that's fine, but they're gutless. That means they're not confident in their guys to slow this down, other than faking injuries. That is a black eye on the sport of college football. I don't know what the fix is. There's got to be at least you're out for that possession, but I think there has to be more. I think there's a fine line with throwing a flag on it. Because it's like, we talked on the post game last night. Boogie said it. What happens when the guy tears an ACL and he's in the hospital the next day, but he got a 15-yarder? Yeah, I agree. It's a fine line on that one. Do they take timeouts for it? What happens? Because a lot of these injuries are blatant faking. And frankly, it sucks. It's not at all fair. Life's not fair. I get that. But in terms of the sport, when you've got somebody who is, I would say, perfected a system, has something that's a disadvantage and a mismatch, and they're doing it the right way, it's not fair that the way to stop that is to flop and slow it down. It's just not. And once again, when Purdue started out, I feel it threw Tennessee off as well. But, all in all, guys, let's face facts. Tennessee, I feel, should have won this game. I think they had 14 penalties for over 100 yards. Yeah, 14 penalties, 128 yards. Purdue, 5 penalties for 61. Total lack of discipline. A lot of those were on pass interferences. Most of them were fair. There was one or two that was not. Oh, man. Just a rough day. Still emotions going from out of night, the day after on this. This was one of the reasons, too. Music City Bowl, going back to the North Carolina game and now this one. If Tennessee never plays in this game again, that's fine with me. The field sucks. That's inexcusable for a pro stadium. And a lot of people I've seen have talked to on Twitter, said they've talked to others, and they've brought in numerous professionals. They say basically what it comes down to is, I guess it's a shady field. It doesn't get enough sun maybe, and then overuse. So the bottom line is it's time to put turf in. That's an easy fix. High schools, colleges across the nation have gone to turf. They're not having these issues. There's no sense in a pro stadium in one of the hottest sports towns in the entire country having one of the worst playing surfaces in the whole country as well. Not much else really to say on that one. Tennessee had its chances. They were up big into the first quarter. Second quarter blues happened again. Josh Heupel has got to fix this. They have really got to examine how to fix this. And we'll see. We'll kind of examine what Tennessee does well, what they need to work on for a video coming later today. I was going to go in on one for Rick Barnes. Look for that tomorrow. We'll start off the new year. We'll talk about Rick Barnes, what he's doing for the Tennessee program. What's his trajectory? What's his ceiling? How does he ride out his tenure as Tennessee's coaches? He's got a few more years left. Fully expect him to ride that out. But as always, guys, it's been a fun year. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your generosity along the way. Thank you for your, at times, constructive criticism. Now, if you want to tell me I'm being negative, just save it. There's no point in it because I don't care. I state what I see as my view. Sometimes it's positive. Sometimes it's negative. that means I try to call it the way I see it. But again, thank you guys. Happy New Year. Hope you start out 2022 on fire. Boogie and myself, we've made a kind of a pact between us of something we're cutting out for January. I would encourage any of you guys out there, pick at least one thing that you want to change. Change it for January. Go 31 days. That's what I'm doing. My wife and I are starting what we call a whole 30, where it's a total reset. And I have to do this. It's something I need to do. I'm not saying do a whole 30, but pick out something, guys. Pick out one thing that you can cut out and change. See how you feel. Let's all see how we feel at the end of January and see if we can stick with it. But my name's the Indie Kid. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. See you guys in 2022, and Happy New Year.
How like we poets sat in our chains, soaking moonlit falls on